break one of my own rules to discuss something a bit more speculative about these situations in Tennessee. This isn't the first time we've seen this church in the news. The fact that the shooter was a woman and then later revealed to be transgender stood out to me as well. But even removing gender, he does not fit the psych profile of a typical mass shooter. Right here, I need to clarify. This is how conspiracies start. The need to explain a situation that doesn't fit with our preconceived patterns causes us to seek an explanation for that discrepancy. So I'm stating up front, this is speculative, and in no way does any of this justify the violence that occurred. However, this church has a history that is being ignored. It is part of a larger issue within the church that needs a lot more attention to prevent further violence against children in the future. This is John Perry. He was and still is a very wealthy and influential Christian leader and writer. He's written numerous books for himself and other prominent politicians, including Roy Moore and Mike Huckabee. During the 2000s and 2010s, he was a leader within the Covenant Presbyterian Church, and as early as 2005, the church knew he had been accused of SA against a minor. He even admitted it to church leadership around 2008, but instead of removing him from his leadership positions and reporting it to the authorities, they kept it hidden for another 4 years. The church also had a plan for handling marital disputes that involved removing children from their homes and placing them in a safe house without the consent of both parents. The church, not the state, the church itself was making this decision. And guess who ran that safe house? John Perry. A deacon in the church named Austin Davis became aware of all of this and raised complaints about the idea of the safe house, and later pushed leadership to remove John Perry from leadership and be transparent with the church about everything that was happening. In response, the church, not the state, the church arrested him and removed him for trespassing. And then, ironically, increased security at the church and told the congregation and the police that Davis was an active shooter threat. When Davis told the police what was occurring, the police threatened him with a restraining order. The state eventually did investigate the abuse, and the abuse was substantiated, but Perry was never charged due to it being past the statute of limitations. What connects all of this is the shooter was a student at the school during the period this abuse and cover-up occurred. It's possible she may have been abused herself, and she may not have been, but we know she most likely attended school with the ones who were abused. But even the existence of an environment that allows abuse like this to occur against children is going to be inherently oppressive and abusive. Some of you may be surprised by the idea of churches hiding abuse and handling domestic disputes outside the law, but this has become a common church practice in the United States. It's a huge part of what is allowing domestic and SA abuse to flourish within the church. So if you look at this situation, we have a very prominent Christian figure connected to a lot of high-profile right-wing politicians who committed SA against a minor that was covered up by the church with the help of law enforcement and the courts. Now we have this situation in the Tennessee State House, where many of these same high-profile right-wing politicians are blatantly ignoring thousands of children, drawing attention to this shooting. Instead of listening, the Republicans are trying to remove and silence the 3 Democrat politicians who stepped forward to speak up for the safety of children. Exactly like the Covenant Church did when Austin Davis stepped forward to speak up for the safety of children. It is the exact same system across 2 corrupt houses of power. It would not surprise me if the motivation for this attack connects both of these houses together, which is why the abusers are lashing out. This system is designed to protect the abusers, and in this system, the victims will always be the children.